Hello, High Schools Africa. And I will go to Mfantsepim, Senior High.
At its synod in 1870, the Methodist Church decided to establish a second cycle institution, an institution responsible for fostering moral, intellectual, and spiritual growth among students. Accordingly, in 1876, the Wesleyan High School, now Mfantsepim School, started operating in Cape Coast and is now what we know it to be. Mfantsepim School, 2-time winners of NSMQ, 5-time Sprite Bowl champions, subsequent winners of the inter-school public speaking competition, but to mention a few accolades. This school has indeed established itself as a hallmark and epitome of Christocentric education in the country. Mfantsepim School is not necessarily without problems. There are problems that affect us. It is very sad and disheartening that a school like Mfantsepim is battling with water crisis. Due to this inadequacy, boys have to walk long distances only to acquire a bucket of water for themselves. This places stress on their academics, punctuality to school activities, as well as their health. Take a look. What do you see? No water. This is what we face. As I said, you may be asking yourself, what exactly is the challenge? The challenge is not necessarily the fact that we are not receiving supply from the Ghana Water Company. No. Every house in the school has at least 2 polytanks, which are supposed to supply students in that particular house with water. Now the problem is these tanks, which are supposed to serve as reservoirs for the water received, gush out liters of water due to cracks and openings in them. Take an example. 14 out of the 25 provided tanks in the school leak water. And so in cases of water shortage, boys have to walk long distances, join queues, and then fight over water. Water which is mostly half-filled buckets of water. This cannot continue to happen. It is definitely not sustainable. It is estimated that every 1 hour, 1 liter of water leaks from a tank. And imagine the water we are losing if 14 tanks in the school are leaking. Water which could be used for alternative purposes such as preparing of food and other things that can boost academic activities in the school.
I remember quite clearly that back in Form 1, I had to walk all the way from the second house to the last house in the technical side to fetch water. When I fetch this water and get it half filled, when I get back to the domestic side, hungry senior boys will be waiting just to take my water, and I end up going back to the dormitory with quarter-filled water.
Honestly, if these polytanks were working, then I don't believe there would be the need for boys to move to and fro just to get small amount of water. If all of these polytanks were functioning, then there wouldn't be the need for this hectic Herculean task.
The concern is solely not about the water. The concern is about the huge sums of money that are being wasted on a daily basis. Water is seen as second to oxygen, a very essential commodity in the prospect of life. This truth is essentially evident everywhere you go. Now, water which is inadequate in the school is necessary for the smooth running of activities in the school, an example of which is dining. When you go to the dining hall, food is needed or water is needed to prepare food for students to eat. Due to inadequacy of water, preparation of food is delayed, serving of food is delayed, times students are supposed to be in class is delayed, and eventually the content of the syllabus that must be covered within a stipulated amount of time is unable to be done.
Moreover, students like myself have to go through a lot of stress just to get small amount of water for other uses. Research has proven that about 69% of students who carry water experience spine problems, whilst about 38% experience back pain. Abysmal, isn't it?
Shortage of water has also affected the domestic side, the general upkeep of the domestic side. Boys don't get water to scrub their houses, their bathhouses, their gutters, and this breeds preventable diseases like cholera and diarrhea.
This example I tell is one of myself. Before becoming head boy, I was in Form 1 in the dorm like most of my friends, and a particular week or fortnight I was preparing for my final exam of that semester. Now, I would say that the very impediment to my success in that exam was my inability to get water. There were times I had to go and queue for 2 hours just to get a bucket of water. That is back at Abrokomani, my house. These are some of the problems our very students face. These are some of the problems that affect the academics of our students. Why should a big school like Mfantsepim be brought down by such problems?
Now, water is an important resource that is used in the various chemistry departments. For instance, we use water to prepare dilute sodium hydroxide solution, sulfuric acid, and nitric acid. We as final year students find it very necessary to go to the chemistry lab and do so many of the practicals so that in WASI 2022, we'll know how to go about it. But this is our current situation. We go to a chemistry lab and there is no water. Students have to travel long distances to carry buckets of water just to fill the tanks there so we can have our successful practicals. Water is indeed very necessary.
Every problem has a solution, and just as we've raised the very pertinent problem of water in our school, we are definitely to find a solution for it. The solution is nothing at all but 10 times 10 power 3 Ghana cedis, 10,000 cedis you have to offer us. What are we going to use this 10,000 cedis for? It obviously can't eradicate entirely the water shortage problem. But what it can do is help us repair the leakages we have in our polytanks, as well as procure more polytanks for our school to be able to store more water, to be able to provide more water in times of no supply from Ghana Water Company. When this happens, the effect of improved academic performance we want to see in our students will be achieved, and many more.
Indeed, 10,000 is all we need to curb this menace.
10,000.
10,000.
They really want the 10,000.
My battery is low.
10,000. Interesting.
I think I like his presentation. The prefect is very confident.
A school like Mfantsepim, what do you expect?
I like the way he went about. At the end of the day, I think they're spending majority of the time letting us understand the problem or seeing the issue. I mean, I like the fact that they had to let us understand. But in most cases, if they had spent a lot of times to really tell us how they're going to go about it, which I think it's what this whole thing is about, maybe it would have helped.
And
I think they did. They said they wanted to buy some of the polytanks additional.
But 10,000.
And then
how many
fix
polytanks?
the leaked ones.
The ones
How
that
many
are
polytanks can that buy? Because the small one that I think the capacity they will need in the school per polytank compared to what they already have should be a bigger one, and that will be close to the 10,000.
Because after
9,000, because the smallest capacity is 4,000 cedis. The smallest part for domestic. So if they concentrate on, they say 14 are down.
Yes.
If they could concentrate on repair, it's perfect.
And I think they should also look at how they can even get water, like a more sustainable.
They're saying the source comes from the government sector, but they need to stop because water doesn't flow every day. Just like Cables is just like that Friday.
Yes, but they opened the tap for us and then it wasn't flowing.
It's a source from the polytanks.
Yes.
Okay, it's the source from.
So I think if it's repair,
storage.
Storage. They have a lot. He didn't hide that one. They have a lot of polytanks. But so that comes to sustainability. You are not able to repair these ones.
You can buy a polytank and you can't
repair till 14 is down. We keep on buying.
Because they need to stop at some point, or you need to be regenerating somehow, So you need to come up with ways that can be done.
Yeah.
Why the leakage? Is it the way they mount the polytanks or what?
And that one may be a factor too, and the fact is they themselves, the way they handle.
It could be.
The way they handle is also, especially when there is water shortage, they are impatient, they don't take their time. People even dip containers from the top into
that's what
they do that. That's what they do.
Yeah. So I mean, the project is it's relevant.
It's good.
I think they've kept us hanging a bit, like how, especially with regards to sustainability. Um,
And how many the money can be
yeah,
by
yeah.